It's Dedrick Navaro. Take a look at the 125-pound match to lead off our broadcast here this evening. We've gone over the numbers for Ramos. Navaro comes in 10-7 on the season, 7-2 in Tech Falls. It's going to be a huge mountain to climb for the sophomore, but that's why you step on the mat. We'll see that here as they're flipping the coin right now. Center mat. The pleasantries getting ready to get underway. You take a look there, you see Matt Ramos, the #1 ranked wrestler at 125 pounds, wearing the Hammer Down Cancer singlets here this evening. This is the Hammer Down Cancer meet for the Purdue wrestling program here this evening. The singlets will be auctioned off after the conclusion of the meet here this evening. Take a look at Purdue Wrestling social media to get the link to the bid pal for the singlets. Dedrick Navaro getting strapped up over there, getting ready to get underway. We thank you again for joining us on to your screens here this evening on Big Ten Plus. As I mentioned, a little bit of wintry weather here in central Indiana here this evening, but a good crowd out here for this matchup between the Wildcats and the Boilermakers. And Purdue comes into tonight's matchup 6-1 overall. 5-0 away from Holloway Gymnasium, which this will be the first time the Boilermakers will step onto the mat in competition since the end of October when they had their gold-black inter-squad scrimmage, and we are underway here. Navaro and Ramos at 125 pounds. Ramos hasn't given up any back points thus far this season. Also has 49 takedowns. Ramos shoots the single, trying to finish off the movement. Navaro trying to prevent that. As Ramos does complete the takedown, he leads early on here in period number 1, 3-0. Ramos has an .875 percentage this season when scoring first. 15 of his 17 matchups have seen Matt Ramos score first, and tonight is no different. Navaro does get the 1-point escape. Navaro shoots, but a nice sprawl there by Ramos. Navaro comes in 7-4 this season, 1-1 in dual meets. This is his first Big Ten matchup here this season. Navaro, the redshirt freshman from Nampa, Idaho, looking for some points here. Ramos so silky smooth, able to get out of that. Safety first here in the Big Ten Conference. Both wrestlers in a compromised position, so they will stand up here. 1:37 seconds to go in period number 1. Ramos leads Navaro 3-1 early on here. Navaro picked up his first collegiate win at the Cleveland State Open earlier on here in this season. A decisive victory, 20-3. Would be a huge upset if he was able to pull off a victory here this evening. Not a knock against his character or his talent, but Matt Ramos has been dominating 125 pounds for the last 2 seasons. Ramos, in his senior campaign, looks to finish things off this season with a national championship. Such a difficult tournament, though. The NCAA is at the end of the season. Under a minute now to go here in period number 1, 3-1 still. Only 9 seconds of an advantage on ride time for Matt Ramos. Ramos shoots. Trying to get that other leg wrapped up, but a nice job by Navaro. No points scored. Navaro was able to get out of that sticky situation. Good defense there from the redshirt freshman, and they will stand up one more time. Second time they've been stood up here in period number 1, under 20 seconds to go. Navaro looks ready for more as he's been the aggressor here in period number 1. Ramos leading in the score column, but Navaro has gone headstrong into the #1 wrestler in the country at 125 pounds. And that's how we will see the end of period number 1, a 3-1 advantage for Matt Ramos. Ramos has still not surrendered a takedown or any back points this season. He does have 49 takedowns and 76 back points himself as he escapes out of that to get the 1-point escape. 4-1 now for Ramos. Ramos has a nice grip on that ankle, trying to work his way around, and he gets the 3-point takedown. 7-1 now. Matt Ramos has been dominant in period number 1. He has 149 points scored in the first period, but he is making quick work here, putting on a clinic against Navaro, getting another 3-point takedown. Ramos, the unquestionable leader of this Purdue Boilermakers wrestling team. Navaro gets the 1-point escape, but Ramos is a good leader, leading by example. Leads the wrestling team out onto the floor and leads them back into the locker room after putting in some work on the mat. Under 45 seconds to go here. 10-3 as Ramos shoots in, getting a 3-point takedown, looking for the attempt. We'll get 4 points on the attempt. 17-3 now as Ramos has come out here on fire in period number 2. 20 seconds to go, period number 2. Ramos might be looking to finish things off here and forego that third period. Under 10. And the referee will stand him up. 7.4 seconds to go, period number 2. Ramos leads 17-3 over Dedrick Navaro. Navaro in some deep water here, just trying to get out of period number 2. Matt Ramos so lightning quick. Seen that here in period number 2. Not going to allow the escape point. So after 2, it's 17-3. Ramos scored 14 points there in period number 2. Got 4 points on the attempt, wasn't able to finish off the movement. So Navaro will get the 1-point escape there to start off period number 3. 17-4 now. Ramos, silky smooth, and he gets the takedown and gets the decision, 20-4. And Matt Ramos will pick up his 17th victory of the season, getting the tech fall. Nonetheless, as we transition now to 141 pounds. Chris Cannon, the senior for the Wildcats, brings a 1-1 record into this matchup. He'll step on the mat against sophomore Greyson Clark. Brings in a 8-6 record on the season. On to the mat here. Greyson Clark, the number 33 ranked wrestler at 141 pounds. Chris Cannon, you see there, the grad student from Oceanport, New Jersey. Number 10th ranked wrestler at 141 pounds. So we'll have our first of 3 ranked matchups here this evening on Big Ten Plus. Thank you for just joining us here. Purdue getting victories at 125 and 133 pounds. We are now underway at 141 pounds. Collar and elbow tie there from Cannon. These 2 wrestlers break there. Clark, the 5'8" from Wrightstown, Wisconsin, the sophomore. Finished a impressive 17-10 record last season, claiming 7 bonus point in 3 ranked victories. Clark would like to add another ranked victory to the list here this evening. Front face lock there. Stalemate, so the referee will stand him up. Clark 0-4 this season against ranked opponents. Shoots the single. Cannon holding on for dear life. Clark trying to get that leg over there. Roll his hips over. And Clark's able to finish and get the 3-point takedown. He worked hard for that one. He leads early here 3-0. Quickness from Cannon, but Clark was able to hold on for the ride and ends up in a good position here. Under a minute to go, period number 1. Cannon trying to grab a hold of that foot there. Trying to get any sort of leverage he can to try to rotate the body of Greyson Clark, and referee will stand him up again. 3-0. Greyson Clark leads Chris Cannon. 46 seconds to go, period number 1. Clark also added 30 seconds of ride time. He will start on top. Quickness from Cannon, but Clark ushers him right back down to the mat. Clark in clear control here in period number 1. Coming up on 30 seconds. Quickness from Cannon. Cannon gets the 1 point for the escape, but right back in control as Cannon trying to use that experience to outduel Greyson Clark here. As time expires in period number 1, Clark leads Cannon 3-2. Purdue's been in control here through these first 2 matches and a period. We'll see if Northwestern can start picking up some steam here. Chris Cannon would be the guy to do it. Cannon gets the escape to tie everything up at 3. Collar and elbow tie there from Cannon. Clark, last time Cannon had Clark locked up like that, Clark was able to find some room to shoot and take down and get those 3 points. We'll see if Clark keeps the same mindset here. Under a minute and 30 to go. Nice movement there from Cannon. Seeing how Clark responds. He goes to shoot. It's a nice grab there on that neck again of Clark. Cannon lets Clark go. Cannon 1-1 this season. Competed at 133 pounds last year, did Cannon. Closed out the year at 20-10, going 7-2 in Big Ten dual action. Shoots the single there. Clark reverses it. Gets the attempt. What a precarious position. Clark trying to finish Cannon off. Nothing yet. Clark holding on for dear life, coming up on 10 seconds. Trying to use that momentum, the body weight to push Cannon down to the mat. Cannon was able to survive, but Clark bumps the score up to 10-3. So Clark will take a 7-point advantage into period number 3. He's going to have another blood timeout. Cannon saw some blood over on the mat, possibly his own. He's getting checked out over there as you see Greyson Clark over with the Purdue coaching staff as Cannon getting checked out by the Northwestern staff. A highly contested matchup, a close matchup through the first 2 periods, and then Greyson Clark with an explosion here in period number 3. Talking to Leroy Vega, the assistant coach of the Purdue Boilermakers over there, the head assistant coach. Cannon getting the cotton balls in his nose. You see another look there at Leroy Vega. And a big help to Tony Ersland helping lay this foundation here for the Purdue Boilermakers in West Lafayette. So we will get back underway here. Period number 3, 10-3. Clark leading the 10th-ranked Cannon. Looking for a huge victory here at home is Greyson Clark. Clark gets the 1-point escape, so leads by 8 now, 11-3. Cannon really has to go here if he wants to try to come back in this one. What a sprawl from Greyson Clark. Not allowing Cannon to get the 3-point takedown. They are going to award the 3-point takedown to Cannon. And then right after that, we'll stand him up. 1 minute and 13 seconds to go. Period number 3. Greyson Clark from the Purdue Boilermakers leads 11-6 over Chris Cannon. Cannon ranked number 10 in the country. Clark ranked number 33, a huge victory this would be for Greyson Clark here in his sophomore campaign. And Cannon knows that under a minute to go now, knows he's got to go, 12-6. Clark does still hold the advantage in ride time, but it's a few seconds shy of earning the bonus point. Just don't want to get caught here. Nice job rolling around there. Under 40 seconds. And they're going to give Chris Cannon the 3-point takedown. 12-9 now as we come up on 30 seconds to go. Period number 3. An exciting matchup at 141 pounds. Who wants it more? Under 20. Cannon needs 3. Clark gets the 1 for the escape. 13-9 coming up on 10 seconds. Cannon has to go. And defense will hold up as Greyson Clark holds off Chris Cannon and gets the ranked victory at 141 pounds. Purdue is dominating through 3. 11-0 is the score in the team event. 4 in the duel as we look at 157 pounds. The senior Trevor Chumbley 3-2 record coming in here tonight to take on the sophomore sensation for the Purdue Boilermakers, Joey Blaze. Blaze comes in with a 10-3 record. Arguably one of the best wrestlers on this Purdue team. A vocal and physical leader is Joey Blaze. The vice president, if you will, to Matt Ramos' presidency here right now. The Purdue Boilermakers. Joey Blaze 5-0 in duels this season, 5-3 in tournament. And Blaze, the sophomore from Perrysburg, Ohio, will carry the number 7th ranking here into this matchup as we are underway. Jacob Bostelman, the opponent for the Wildcats, the sophomore from Parker, Colorado. Bostelman comes in 1-2 this season. Looking to get his first dual victory of the season, as well as his first Big Ten win of the season. Last year, Bostelman posted a 10-3 record in open tournaments. Tallied 3 bonus point wins, won the freshman-sophomore division at the Michigan State Open, finishing a perfect 4-0. Also a mark that included a pair of victories by Tech Fall as Bostelman gets the first 3 against Blaze. The 3-point takedown. As we start to heat up here. Blaze gets the 1-point escape. Trying to use the speed here against the strength of Bostelman. Bostelman takes the ride off the mat. Safety first here in the Big Ten, so the referee will stand them back up. Stand them up in the middle of the big train. Blaze with a little shoulder juke, shoots in. Trying to get the single. Great job by Bostelman posting up, but Blaze will get the 3-point takedown. As Blaze goes looking for more. Blaze blazing his own trail, if you will, for the Purdue Boilermakers after qualifying for the NCAA championships as a true freshman last year. Blaze is off to a hot start here in season number 2 in West Lafayette. He joined Matt Ramos as the only 2 place winners in Las Vegas, the Cliff Keen Invitational. Blaze took 6th place in a stacked 157-pound division. Highlight win for Blaze over number 24th ranked Ethan Stiles of Oregon State and Peyton Keller of the Ohio Bobcats. Trying to get his first Big Ten victory here this evening, this season. Over Jacob Bostelman. Coming up on 30 seconds to go, period number 1. Blaze leads 4-3. He's able to get that 1 takedown and the escape point. Tough task, though, this season for Blaze and Bostelman. At 157 pounds, 7 of the top 10 157-pounders in the United States reside in the Big Ten Conference. Blaze included. And he'll take a 1-point advantage into period number 2, 4-3 after 1. Blaze also holding the advantage in ride time, 1 minute and 31 seconds. As Blaze a little slow to get up off the mat, but we'll start from the bottom here in period number 2. Blaze does get the 1-point escape, now leading 5-3. Bostelman started out period number 1 hot, and then Blaze cooled him off a little bit of defense. They get closer over there to the scorer's table. Referee will stand him up. Blaze looking over at Tony Ersland, encouraging him to breathe, just taking deep breaths. 5-3 lead for Blaze. It's the first time the Purdue Boilermakers have been home since early October. Spent the last month and a half on the road, so has to feel good for Purdue to come on home and get a match in front of their home fans. 5-3. Coming up on a minute to go here in period number 2. This period number 2 has been a little bit more of a feeling out process for both these athletes. Both of them trying to get an advantage over the other. Bostelman shoots there. A nice sprawl by Blaze to prevent the takedown. Blaze's leg is in a precarious position. The referee's going to stand him up here with 46.2 to go in period number 2. Bostelman and Blaze locking up here at 157 pounds. Last 2 matchups have been tightly contested. See how this one plays out here, 5-3. Blaze trying to get the 3-point takedown. He has the leg of Bostelman. Bostelman holding on to Blaze's leg. Blaze holding on tight. Both athletes sliding across the mat. Blaze able to flip it around. No points. And that's how we will end period number 2. 5-3. Purdue's Joey Blaze will take the 5-3 advantage into period number 3. Joey Blaze ranked 7th, the highest ranking the sophomore has held in his time in West Lafayette. Trying to hold on to a 2-point victory here. Referee will stand him up again. Matt Storniolo over there hollering encouragement at Jacob Bostelman. And we got to go here. A quick look there at Leroy Vega shouting out at Joey Blaze. His first duel, a victory of this season, important for both of these clubs. Blaze shoots a nice sprawl from Bostelman. They're near the edge of the mat again, right over here in our front yard. Thankfully, the referee will stand them back up as they were getting a little too close for comfort over here. Under a minute to go, 5-3. Blaze trying to protect the 2-point lead. Bostelman looking for the takedown. Karnabotai. 34.8 seconds left. Leroy Vega shouting out at Joey Blaze. Shouting encouragement, telling him what he needs to do to try to get through these last 34.8. Coming up on 20 seconds. Blaze does secure the riding time, so it's 6-3 right now. So a takedown would tie things up. And Blaze responds with a 3-point takedown. As time will expire in period number 3, Joey Blaze gets the victory over Jacob Bostelman. 11-3 at 157 pounds. Blaze earned that one. A wave to the crowd. He goes over and shakes the hand of the Wildcats head coach, actually the whole coach.